Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican from Tennessee, who's been long demanding transparency on these issues, is with us now. I think there's something interesting that he said. It's better technology than we ever have. The technology that people have seen and witnessed in videos and in these, with pilots citing these things, is far beyond anything America has. Are we sure the people who are saying that know everything that America has?
Absolutely. These are the best trained pilots, their credentials are impeccable, and this is the tip of the iceberg. There's more of this coming out. I've seen other videos. I've been briefed on other things. I think what you're getting ready to see, though, is just a deluge of people coming forward with this type of information.
All right, but you say they're the best trained pilot. There's a lot of pilots back in the 1980s who didn't have access to the F-117 stealth fighter or the B-2 bomber. And I'm just trying to get to this. How are we positive that the people who are reporting these things aren't just witnessing U.S. technology?
Why would we have 14 near misses, documented near misses, of our best pilots in the world, of our best pilots in $50 million aircraft? That doesn't make any sense at all. If it was the Russians, they would own us. They wouldn't be bogged down in Ukraine. If the Chinese, they'd own us further than they do now. This is clearly something, and too, the physics of it in itself. The human body would not be able to withstand the G-force. It would literally rip you apart. It would liquefy you. And these speeds that they're engaging in are just beyond belief. From 0 to Mach 3. I mean, I don't even know how you even tabulate that.
I don't know either, but that's why I got into journalism, was to not do math. But David Grush, who was on NewsNation as a whistleblower, talking about what he had seen, was one of your witnesses. And here he is talking about sort of what he was and was not able to say at today's hearing.
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years. I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General and some of which to the intelligence committees. I actually had the people with the firsthand knowledge provide a protected disclosure to the Inspector General.
What are we trying to get at here? Is it that Congress has not been briefed potentially on secret programs, or is it that the U.S. government is in possession of little green men and their spacecraft and just isn't telling anybody and has been able to keep this secret for decades?
Well, the Pentagon, of course, as I like to refer to them, the war pimps, they are talking out of both sides of their mouth. One side saying they don't exist, the other side saying we want to study them, send us $1 billion more. You know, they lose $1 billion every year. They've been audited. Ever since they've been audited, they've never passed an audit. Yet I seem to be the only one that wants to raise hell about it. It's uncontrollable spending. They're out of control. And you know, they blocked. Here's a perfect example. I have had a bill, an amendment to the FAA reauthorization. It was a simple amendment. It was, follow me. All it said was, if you're an airline pilot and you spot something, an anomaly, a UFO, something like that in the air, it's unidentifiable, and when you report that to the FAA, that report will be made available to Congress. Well, I was told by leadership that it was blocked, not by the intelligence committee, but the intelligence community. Now we have unelected bureaucrats within the military war complex that are telling elected officials what to do. That should be very chilling to you all in the media.
No.